Doesn't make sense. Okay. I don't know. That didn't make any sense, did it?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Okay. But I think you're great, Carrie. And good night. Let's talk about relationships tonight. The thing is, when you are dumped, I guess, in a relationship, let's just take that case. When you're left, there's several things you can do as a human being when you're left. You can be friends with the person. That's hard. You can hate the person. You can stalk the person. You can throw her in the bay like some people do. There's so many different things you can do after a relationship's over. But the hardest thing is to be friends with the person that you love, because you have bitter and resentment toward them because you're like been through so much shit, and now they're like, let's just be friends. So what it takes to be friends is to swallow your fucking ego. You have to swallow your ego and go, I got no ego, we're friends. That's it. But occasionally, when you're friends with that person, evil shit goes through your head. Like, you're like, okay, we're friends, but it would be great if a plane went through your apartment and fucking killed you, you know, just made you, I don't know. And then I would visit you in the hospital, and they would say, oh, are you here to see Heather? And I would go, yeah. And they would go, are you family? And I would go, no, we're just friends. Best friends. Another thing in relationships too is if you're ever in a serious relationship for a long period of time, a lot of people like self-help books, like Dr. Phil and Oprah and all these fucking douchebags that have these books that know shit about love, and there's like their whole life sucks, and they're like, I'm gonna put love on paper and give it to dumbasses for $9.99. Fuck that shit. It doesn't work, because you could be in a fucked up argument with your girl of 5 years, just fucking cabinet slamming everything in the fucking kitchen, and then all of a sudden you're gonna go, wait a minute, on page 59, Oprah says, look into each other's eyes and fucking talk about what you used to talk about. Fuck that, she'll just shove that book up your fucking ass. Doesn't even make sense. This guy, Scott Peterson, who killed his wife and kid on Christmas Eve, drove out 95 miles, dropped I guess knocked her out, whatever you fucking did. On Christmas Eve, of all places, they knew he was guilty. They really did, because some of the relatives said on Christmas, he didn't act like shit was wrong. He was opening up his presents, and they're like, don't you know your wife's missing? He said, oh, I got the new Madden. Well, I care. Party. But the fucked up thing about this guy is that they asked him questions in the press conferences, and at the time I was in a relationship, and I just kind of compared it to my relationship, and they would go, do you think Lacey is in the San Francisco Bay? And he would almost like say, oh, she's a Gemini, she doesn't like water. You know, stupid questions like that. But then when he got locked up, this motherfucker became super intelligent, because he called Johnny Cochran as a lawyer to represent him. And here's a guy who took his wife out, duct taped, and did all this shit, right? So he called Johnny Cochran up and he goes, Johnny, you know, I want you to represent me. And Johnny Cochran got OJ off with a rhyme and a fucking this and that. You know, if the gloves don't fit, you must have quit. So he called back about 2 months later, a month later, and told Scott Peterson he couldn't do it. And Scott Peterson goes, why can't you take my case, Johnny? And Johnny says, I can't think of anything to rhyme with baby or boat or duct tape. Time. So. Is that my time, Carrie? I don't want to go past the light here. But I hear all these things about people breaking up with their girl, which is fine. I mean, okay. Doesn't throw me off, I just keep going, rambling. I don't care. I think that, here's the thing about guys, there's a lot of guys here, there's never any good looking girls here. There used to be in 2006. Shut up, I'm kidding, God. Oh, there's great looking girls here. I know it. Would you just let me talk? Let me vent into the fucking... Thanks, Carrie. Anyway, guys won't walk into a bar and look across the room and go, "Oh, I wonder if that woman has a nice soul." You know, they're very superficial, that's what I'm saying. And the thing that really bothers me about meeting women is that when you see somebody from across the room and you have a connection with them and you're like, "Yeah, I have a connection with you from across the room," it's as you come closer to that woman that's when the hope just disintegrates. Because then you ask questions like, "What do you do for a living?" Right? "What's your fucking credit score?" Like when I looked at you from across the room, I didn't go, "God, she's hot. I hope she's a tax attorney." I mean, I just thought about, hey, I don't give a fuck if you're in a homeless shelter. I'll go down and fuck you in a homeless shelter. I don't give a fuck what you do for a living. It's the last thing on my fucking mind. Especially in a fucking bar. As long as you can stand up straight and I can somehow get you fucking to my car, I don't give a shit. Oh, there's some funny people coming to the States, straight from Hollywood. Good night.